Amen.
Happy Sabbath, children. Today's story it's called The Parrot Preaches. Grandma lived in a big house in Mayagüez, Puerto Rico. The house was always a bustle of activity. In the basement, Grandma operated a furniture factory. Every day you could hear the sounds of saws, hammer, machines, spray painting guns, and workmen shouting above the noise that as they made all the beds, dressers, cabinets, tables, and chairs. The smell of wood shaving and sprayed lacquer blend together with the heat and humidity of the tropics. Grandma was the only Adventist Christian in the family. That was not easy. Then the family worship time came. She always invited the members of the household to join her for singing, Bible reading, and prayer. Sometimes there were those who would join her, but most of the time, Grandma found herself alone on the back porch with God and her two parrots. Their names were Pip and Susie. How she enjoyed having family worship. She would sing songs and read the Bible out loud, and sometimes would even preach to her parrots when there was no one else around her to talk with. Soon Pete and Susie began to learn to sing some of Grandma's favorite hymns. Her favorite hymn was Holy, Holy, Holy. Every time Grandma would start to sing that hymn, Pete and Susie would begin to sway back and forth with their necks stretched out, singing the song with all their might. Grandma also repeated certain words and praises from sermons she had heard. Her parents learned those too. It was long before one of their or the other of the parents would shout, "Prepare, sinners, the Lord is coming." Pete and Susie were kept in a cage at the top of the steps that came up from the basement to Grandma's back porch. In Grandma's basement furniture factory, where there was one worker named Carlos, who was very lazy. Carlos would saw a board and then he would take out a cigarette to smoke while he rested for a while. Every time Carlos turned off, the factory got quiet. Pete and Susie would call out his name, "Carlos!" Then they could add, "Get to work," in a scolding voice. This would make Carlos very angry. He got so angry that one evening, as he climbed the stairs from the factory, he opened the latch of the parrot's cage and left it open. Early the next morning, while it was still dark, one of Grandma's neighbors woke up to the sound of a voice just outside her window. "Holy, holy, holy, prepare, sinners, the Lord is coming." The neighbor lady ran to her window and peered out into the darkness. Again came a song of warning cry, "Prepare, sinners, the Lord is coming." With that, she hurried out to the street, only to find others who were asking each other, "Did you hear that? Did you hear what I heard?" Grandma heard the commotion and joined the group. She happily announced that her parents must be up in those trees. Soon Pete and Susie were back in their cage, leaving Grandma to explain to her neighbors how it happened that her parents learned to sing and preach. Some of Grandma's neighbors said they wished they knew more about the Bible, so Grandma offered to give them a Bible study. Several of them gave their hearts to Jesus and were baptized. We all know that Pete and Susie were just repeating words and sounds that they had learned. Grandma say in her family worship. They didn't really understand what it meant. But we know about the love of Jesus and the Bible. Jesus is our friend, and we can tell others of his love. If Pete and Susie could witness for Jesus by repeating sounds, how much more we could do by intelligence is sharing our love of Jesus with others. Now, after this story, I would love to ask you to please draw a story or write a story during the week. And you can actually drop the story at church. In pastor's door, there's a mail slot that you can drop it, and I will pick it up, and I would love to read your story. So I'll be waiting for your story, really excited. And you have a happy Sabbath.